On the day her sister was supposed to say I do, Ada stole everything. The veil, the groom, the dream. For a moment, she thought she had it all. But what she didn't know was this. A stolen moment can cost a lifetime. Their town woke to drum beats. Amara's wedding day had been the talk of the whole village. The compound was filled with music, laughter, and colorful clothes. Friends and family danced in their regal African attires, sipping palm wine, eating and celebrating. Everyone thought it was a day of joy. But behind the decorated walls, Ada, Amara's younger sister, was plotting a betrayal. Inside the bride's room, Amara sat before a tall mirror. She wore a flowing white lace wedding gown, fitted at the waist, with a long train and delicate pearl embroidery along the bodice. A thin veil framed her face. Her hair was tied in an elegant updo. Her bouquet of white roses rested in her lap. Her eyes shone with a mix of fear and joy every bride carries. She smiled that soft, small smile of someone who believed in new beginnings. Ada had always envied Amara. From childhood, she longed for everything Amara had. Her clothes, her friends, her attention. And now, she wanted the one thing Amara treasured most her fiancé, Chike. Chike was tall, confident, and wealthy by their town standards. To outsiders, he was the perfect man. But in truth, he was prideful and cunning, hiding his true self behind sweet words and false promises. On that morning of the wedding, Chike arrived in a sharp black suit, tailored, dark, with a white shirt and a neat black bow tie. He walked like a man used to being washed, heads turned, and some women pressed their palms together in admiration. The house hummed with guests, but a small room at the edge of the house held a different sound. Ada's breath and Chike's slow exhale. He adjusted his cufflinks in the mirror. She slipped the door closed and stepped in with a quiet confidence. "Do you really want to marry Amara?" Ada asked. Chike frowned. "Ada, this is not the time." "Answer me," she urged. "Do you love her? Or are you marrying her because it's expected?" He said nothing. Silence is an answer if you listen hard enough. Ada moved closer. Her perfume filled the air. "You know it's me you've always wanted," she said. Chike's face tightened. "Ada, stop." Ada's lips trembled. She said, softer, dangerous. "If you walk out there and marry her, you will regret it for the rest of your life." The seed was planted. The church was full. Ribbons, white flowers, chandeliers glowing like stars. Amara walked down the aisle with her father. Her dress shimmered, her eyes were firm. She believed in vows. Chike stood at the altar. He watched Amara speak her heart and say, "I do." For a heartbeat, hope shone on his face. Then his gaze slipped to Ada, steady and unwavering in the front row. When it was his turn, the world seemed to hold its breath. Chike's jaw tightened. He opened his mouth, and instead of vows, 3 words fell like a stone. I cannot. Shock moved through the pews. Amara's smile froze. Her father's hand tightened on his staff. Chike turned his face to the crowd and then to Ada. "My heart belongs to Ada," he said clear as bell. The church erupted. Women screamed. Men shouted. Amara's veil slipped free. She sank to her knees, her bouquet scattering like dropped hopes. The celebration turned into heartbreak. Amara, dressed in a flowing white gown and veil, sat weeping in the church. Her makeup smudged as the man she was about to marry chose her own sister over her. Ada, proud and defiant, stood tall in her flashy Ankara, claiming Chike as hers. Ada stood by the doorway, face carved with pride and a tiny flicker of guilt. "It was never your life, Amara. It was always mine," she said. Her voice did not shake. Their father's face reddened with shame and fury. "Ada," he roared, "you have brought shame to this house. From today you are no longer my daughter." Life moved quickly after that day. Amara left the village, broken but determined to heal. She found herself in the city, building a quiet life away from the shame. She did not expect to run into John, her childhood best friend. John had once asked her out back in secondary school, but she had turned him down because of Chike. Now, he had grown into a man of grace and success, elegant, kind, and thriving in business. When John saw Amara again, his face lit up with joy. "I'm glad that wedding never happened," he told her softly, "because I always wished you would be mine." At first, Amara held back. Her heart was scarred, her trust broken. But John never stopped showing her kindness. He treated her like a queen, never letting her doubt her worth. Slowly, with time and persistence, Amara opened her heart to him, and love began to blossom. Meanwhile, back in the village, Ada and Chike married quietly away from eyes. For a while, they pretended happiness. They kept a house. And Ada wore new clothes and smiled for visitors. But the world is honest in small ways. At the market, people pointed. Friends turned cold. Chike's business slowed. One night, the mask came off. "Ever since I chose you, my life has been cursed," Chike shouted, slamming his palm on the wooden table. Ada collapsed in the corner, tears like rain. "But you said you loved me," she cried. His face hardened. "I chose wrong," he said. The words cut deeper than any slap. And sometimes his anger did not stop at words. He hit her. He lied. He cheated. Ada learned the difference between wanting a thing and keeping it. Ada's life was crumbling. Chike, the man she had stolen, revealed his true colors. He refused to let her walk, keeping her trapped in misery. She bore his child. But even that did not soften him. Money stopped coming, and hunger became her daily companion. One night, in a fit of cruelty, Chike brought another woman into their home and threw Ada and her child out into the darkness. With nowhere to go, she returned to her father's house, tears streaming down her face. But her father, still burning with anger, shouted, "You are not my daughter," and chased her away. Only their mother, her heart heavy with sorrow, slipped her some money and begged her to leave. With no pride left, Ada began selling pepper in the market, her once proud face now worn and weary. She tied her child to her back, carrying her tray under the hot sun, struggling to survive. Eventually, after much shame, her father allowed her back into the house, but only for the sake of the child. Ada was no longer seen as a daughter, just a shadow in her own home. Sometimes she caught a glimpse of Chike with another woman, laughing as if the old scene had been a joke. Sometimes, night came and she had the strength only a mother must find. She slept in a small room. Her father would grudgingly allow because of the child, but he would not welcome her into the family table. Amara's story was different. John's love lifted her from pain into joy. When he finally proposed in a beautiful setting, John proposed in a simple, perfect way. A dinner on a rooftop, light breeze, soft music. He knelt and opened a small box. He spoke clearly, with no grand drama, only the truth of a man who had waited. Amara's heart, once broken, finally healed. She said yes, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. Not long after, John insisted they visit her family, dressed in a simple shirt and trousers, humble and respectful, and Amara in a beautiful, colorful Ankara gown, with her jewelry shining. He drove Amara home in his sleek Range Rover. Amara gown. Her parents welcomed them with open arms, their faces beaming with pride at their daughter's transformation. But then, Amara saw her sister, Ada rough and tired, stood with a pepper tray on her head. Their eyes met, one filled with shame, the other with quiet strength. Ada fell to her knees begging, "Sister, forgive me." Amara's heart ached, but her words were steady. "Ada, I always knew you liked to take my things, even as children. I saw the way you looked at Chike. But I thought you had changed. I never imagined you would betray me like that. Ada sobbed. I did change. I tried to change, but I was weak. Amara's eyes softened, not with pity, but with truth. I forgive you, she said at last. Not because what happened was small, not because you did not break me. I forgive you because I refuse to let bitterness live inside me. Ada's shoulders shook with release and with new pain. She looked up, hope and shame mingled. Amara turned to John, took his hand, and nodded toward the house. This is my life now, she said. You are welcome to meet my man. But understand, some things cannot be undone. The silence was heavy. Ada wept, holding her child close, her tears dropping into the dust. Amara looked at her for a long moment, then turned to John, who held her hand with gentle strength. Life had given them both different paths. One chose envy and pride. The other chose patience and healing. And now, standing in her strength, Amara finally understood true love was never stolen. It was given, freely and with grace. Thank you for staying with us till the end of the story. Your support means the world to us. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. It encourages us to keep bringing you more inspiring and emotional stories. Until next time, goodbye.